do you remember your first birthday? What about the first time you walked? The first word you said? You don't really remember, and you think that's totally normal, right? Yeah, you're thinking right. You're not dumb. You just have two active DNA strands instead of 12. The rest are asleep. In this video, I'm going to tell you 5 crazy abilities you could have had if you had more than 2 active DNA strands. Let me break it down real clear. Your body is packed with genetic material. Think of genetic material like instructions and a source. Everything that built you is written inside it, meaning all your features like your height, your eye color, your learning ability, your muscle strength, your hair type, and a whole lot of other stuff that makes you, you. All of that got written into the genetic material, and that formed the DNA. And all of it lives in your body, in those 2 active strands. Now the question is, what are the other 10 doing in your body? Scientists called them junk and said they don't do anything. But later, when they dug deeper, they realized those other 10 strands weren't that useless after all. Those 10 also have information about your existence written in them. They're just turned off. A ton of scientists spent years researching and figured out that those 10 silent ones are like a library where somebody turned all the lights off. Loads of instructions, loads of crazy and extraordinary abilities, loads of wild information, all sitting inside that library with the lights out. Think about it. If all 12 DNA strands in your body were active and working, what would happen? In my opinion, it'd be insane. We'd all become superhumans, or something you can't even put a name on. Now I want to go deep into this and tell you what happens if those silent strands get activated. The first effect is on your brain. Yeah, buddy, you heard that right. Your memory goes absolutely crazy. Think about your brain. Some things you forget fast. Maybe something super important. Maybe not. Either way, it's gone, like it never existed in the first place. Like you don't remember being 2 years old, or you study for 3 hours, and then during the exam it just blanks on you. Your brain is constantly trying to figure out what to keep and what to toss, and most of the time it gets it wrong and screws you over. Your brain has 2,500 terabytes of storage, and it still can't remember what you ate 5 days ago. Why? Because that info is completely worthless to the brain. If all 12 DNA strands were active, that wouldn't happen anymore. The filter for valuable versus worthless disappears. You remember everything. Your brain would hold on to everything without deleting anything or making you forget. From the moment you were born, from the first time you opened your eyes at 1 day old and the doctor smacked your butt, you'd remember that. All the way to the first time you learned how to pee. Every single moment of your childhood and growing up, even someone you just casually met, all the way to right now sitting there watching this video, you'd remember all of it. Personally, I think that's both cool and a little annoying, because there's some stuff I personally do not want to remember. What about your body? With 12 fully active strands, what would it look like? Think about your height. You'd probably be around 3 meters tall. A lot of people wish they were taller. The tallest human alive right now is 2.72 meters, and a lot of people thought that person was sick for getting that tall. But here's what I'll say. Based on things we've heard from ancient texts from completely different cultures that had zero connection to each other, they all describe early humans, our ancestors, as having massive builds and being super tall, describing them as giants. Mesopotamia, Egypt, the Bible, Hindu texts, Norse mythology, all of them, separately. So do you think it's possible our ancestors had several extra active strands that we don't have anymore? Imagine if you were like 3 to 4 meters tall. Would you be cool with that? Me personally, I'm fine with my height. No complaints. Or think about your muscle strength. You know gorillas share 98% of our genetics, right? A gorilla can throw a punch with 590 kilos of force. And the max human punch force is like 45 kilograms. That gap has nothing to do with training. That's a genetic gap. So that means that power is actually in you too. You just use it in emergencies without even knowing it. Imagine a bookshelf falls on you and you use every bit of your strength to lift it just enough to crawl out. That's exactly what happens in danger. Those 10 inactive strands jump in, and all of them might activate at once. Your strategic intelligence suddenly spikes, and your physical strength can suddenly multiply. Everything I'm telling you is documented and recorded. Now think about your eyes. Everything your eyes see right now is a combination of red, blue, and green. And outside of those three primary colors and their combinations, your eyes can't see anything else. But imagine when you were born, something happened in your DNA data that let you see four colors instead of three. You could then easily see 100 million color combinations. Cool, right? There's a sea creature called a mantis shrimp that can see 16 colors that no human has ever been able to comprehend. On top of that, the delay between your eye catching something and your brain registering and processing it would get way shorter, meaning you could track a flying fly in extreme detail and watch its wings move, just like that Spider-Man scene where Peter Parker catches the fly midair. Let me tell you something interesting. Did you know that before a human could live on land, breathe, eat, first it was a bacteria, then a fish-like creature, then four-legged, then early humans appeared? So that means it had gills. Think about a frog. It can stay underwater for a long time and also live outside. Imagine if human gills had stayed. Right now, you could live both underwater and above water. Well, you actually have that gill information in your DNA strands. It's just turned off inside you. Do you think if it wasn't turned off, and you could live in the ocean too? Imagine a shark is coming at you. Could you escape? Me personally, I'm terrified of sharks, but it'd be sick if I could go deeper into the oceans and see what's actually down there. Or imagine gliding from tree to tree like flying squirrels, or sliding down from the top of a building, or like bats, you could echolocate in total darkness through a forest, send out a sound, feel the echo come back, and build a complete 3D map of everything around you in your mind without using your eyes at all. Full mental imaging through sound reflection. Sounds wild, right? Now listen to this. Let me tell you something even more interesting. You've definitely heard of the Egyptian pyramids. Have you ever thought about how they were built? Well, honestly, nobody's ever been able to explain them. A lot of people think aliens came and built them. The Great Pyramid alone has 2,300,000 stone blocks, and each block weighs between 2 and 80 tons, like a heavy-duty truck. Genuinely unexplainable. Think, 10,000 workers with ropes and ramps and sheer muscle built this in 20 years. No cranes, none of the equipment people use today to build anything. Those workers didn't have any of that. So it makes sense that a human brain can't accept that these pyramids were built 4,500 years ago by humans with zero tools. Does that mean their brains worked better? Their memory was like a computer? Their bodies were way stronger than yours or mine or anyone else's? Did we actually get this lazy and forgetful and weak over time? What even were we before that we're not anymore? These are questions you ask yourself too. I ask myself too. Those were 5 abilities you could have had active, but they're turned off inside you. A memory that doesn't forget, a body that makes you a superhuman, new colors you could see, living in and out of water at the same time, or building an Egyptian pyramid. All these abilities exist in you as a human. They're inside your body, just not lit up, waiting for a spark to turn on. So right now, what could that spark be? That might just be the most interesting and meaningful question ever asked on YouTube.